Hello, Kimera Hashiv and Jew is Mr. Joseph. Show Gaelic le Joseph. Show podcast Akum. Koas a Hashiv. Hami an an alaba. Kachavila fudlich. Hami a fudlich and am pashlik. Pashlik. Hai fur an Jew an an alaba. Agus hai I fluch. Kachavil shivadol an Jew. Hamiadol ac opar. Hamiadol ac opar. Aveu shiv a furach an an America. Aveu shiv a furach an an bara. An an bara. Kachaveu shiv ac opar. No, that's not correct. That's not correct. It's Kachavil u ac opar. Where do you work? Kachavil u ac opar. Avelu a fudach an an alaba. Avelu a pashlich. Avelu a mulla. Avelu a gober an an tai ozda. Avelu a dol. Glasgow. Glasgow. J and Tinham a horst. J and Tinham a horst. Today we're going to talk about names. J and Tinham a horst. What is your name? Usually in the Gaelic world, the name describes the person. For example, let me see, Katrina Vor, Big Katrina or Big Catherine, Anna Vor, Big Anne. That's how we usually describe people's jobs. Okay, for example, my name is Joseph McTaggart, so we'll talk more about that later, how to say it, but that in Gaelic would mean Joseph, son of the Celtic priest. So you can hear we describe people by their characteristics, the name maybe of their father, for example, John MacDonald, John, son of Donald. So we can describe them by their size, Big Mary, by the name of their father, or by their occupation. For example, Callum Post, Callum the postman. And the list goes on, Mary of the whatever. Okay, so Mary a Fost. Okay, it has to be PH appearing there because, as you know, it's lenited. In the Gaelic world, sometimes you hear English words, like in this case, post, for example, and you'll also hear them being lenited to become Fost. This is something which sometimes happens. There's so many English words that people prefer to use in Gaelic that you might hear an English word slipping in there. But the actual word for post office in Gaelic is office fusht. Fusht. So fusht is the correct word for post when it's lenited. Okay, but you'll also hear the more anglicised version of that, and that's very common. So as we said, you can call someone by their description, by the name of their father, by their job, and you can also call someone by where they come from. John of the Glen, for example, or Joseph of Fashlich. It's very similar in the Arab world. You tend to get a name based upon something about you rather than what your real name is. This seems to be a very ancient way of naming people. Also, of course, they might just refer to your town, as I just did with Pashlich. Alternatively, they might mix everything up. You could be Big Joseph from Paisley, for example. Can you remember how to say Big Joseph from Paisley? Jane Tinamahorst is Misha Joseph. Jane Tinamahorst literally, what's the name on you? What's the name on you? Because just like possessives and possessions, which come to be at you, sicknesses, names, and other things tend to be on you. And if you're wondering if there's an English equivalent of that, there is. If you've ever been to Scotland or Ireland, we often talk about the description of something being on someone. For example, in English, I say fairly regularly, "Oh, did you see the face on him?" Did you see the face on the child when you said, "No, he can't have sweets"? Yeah. Or the face on the cat, for example. Did you see the face on the cat when he discovered that there's no food? Yeah. So we do use this in English as well, so it's the very same. But this is the grammar which has been exported into English, and it's very common around the north of England, Scotland and Ireland. Oh, the face on him. Or did you see the head on him? Or did you see the hat on him, or the coat on him, for example. We do this a lot, so it's something to keep in mind. Kirshmaha, right then. Ag toshach, firstly. Jane Tonamaharov is Misha Joseph. Jane Tonam ha orra, what are they called? Jane Tonam ha orra. Now remember, just in the same way as we have all of the ways of saying at them, at you, and everything else, we also have the same with on you, on her, etc. And we'll be looking at them a little bit later in another lesson. Okay, so with possessions, we used, for example, akit, which or akam, which means akit means you. Akam, of course, would be at me. So akit at you, akam it me. Okay, so we went through all of them already, and it might be a good moment for you just to go back and revise that before we move on to orra on them, or for example, Jintin Horst on you. I'll write more details about these in the show notes anyway. In case you're wondering where we get orm or orst from, basically it's the preposition oirre, which means on, plus the person. So oirre plus me becomes one word, orm. Okay, oirre plus u makes one word called orst. So there is a logic behind this. I haven't just pulled out strange words. All right, just something to keep in mind. Like I say, I'll put them in the show notes, but probably it's not the right time to study them. But if you want to go back and revise at you, at him, at her, etc., this is maybe a really good time to do that. Wonderful. Well, I think that's probably about enough for today, because there's quite a lot there. Just one thing to say, Jintinum a horst, Jintinum aha eir avar becomes what's the name on the bar, because obviously if we say names are on people, when we ask the question, what's the name? Jintinum a horst, what's the name on you? Jintinum air avar, what's the bar called? we can't create the separate words in this case because we have to refer to the bar. We can't just call it an it. If we're talking about the bar, we can say what's it called. But of course, in the first instance, what's the bar called? T-ainm avar. And in this case, air stays separate. So air plus me, as we say, becomes orrn. Air plus u becomes orst, and it continues. Alright, so again, we'll come back to that, but that's just a really brief introduction. Thank you so much. I wish you all a wonderful day. Judy and Rasta.